Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And yesterday it was, of course, FMQs, and Humza Yousaf didn't really have any answers. All he could do was say, Boris Johnson, Boris Johnson, Boris Johnson. Everything that went wrong was Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson wasn't in charge of Scotland's COVID response. It was Nicola Sturgeon. I think you're misspelling Boris Johnson. Because we all know it was Cranky making the decisions. If she'd have done as Boris Johnson had said, then maybe you'd have the case. But that's not what happened, is it now? So stop lying. But you should be ashamed, according to many, many people. And we're going to have a look at this now to see why he kind of doesn't really have any answers. Partially because he's very stupid. Partially because he knows the answers he does have are very sort of damaging to him and the party. So, of course, he's never, ever going to answer them. Never in a month of Sundays will he ever admit the truth. They can't, can they? Anyway, we'll take a look at this article, see why he has been misleading MPs or MSPs, even though he denies it. But we all know he has. He lies through his teeth. And now he lied at FMQs again. There's never going to be an answer, is there? If he's just standing there barefaced lying at FMQs, what's the bloody point? Anyway, here goes. So, Humza Yousaf should be ashamed of the way he has treated the COVID inquiry as he denies misleading SMPs. I love the way they use the word misleading. They mean lying to. He lied to MSPs and he lied to them yesterday. He keeps lying. He lies upon lies upon lies. Nothing that man says is in any way near the truth. Anyway, the First Minister was mocked. It's not hard, is it? As he claimed that the reason he told MSPs the COVID inquiry had only requested WhatsApps in September is because the Scottish Government interpreted the request too narrowly. Doesn't that strike you as an absolute huge pile of utter horse shit? They know what a request means. Are you saying that the whole of the Scottish Government is so stupid that they don't understand that, a request for information is a request for information? There's no too narrow or anything like that. It's bollocks and you know it. Hapless and useless, Humza Yousaf clung to Boris Johnson as he suffered a brutal beatdown at FMQs amid claims both he and Shona Robertson misled MSPs. We know they have. We know they're a pair of liars. One's naturally stupid, one works at it. One is genetically retarded and the other one is just a fuckwit. But, this is the people running Scotland now. So what hope do you have? The SNP leader was jeered by the surrounding benches as he admitted that his government had interpreted the request for the COVID inquiry in what a manner he calls too narrowly. But that's just going to show that it's, I don't want to answer the question. Let me just choose to answer it this way. Full of it. He also mentioned Boris Johnson in every single one of his answers as he attempted to deflect from the growing criticism of his handling of the scandal. You can't blame Boris. He hasn't been Prime Minister for 2 years. Anyway, he refused to accept that he had made false statements at Holyrood about when his administration was asked for social media messages and WhatsApps by the UK COVID inquiry. And yet we know he has. He's lied. He's going, it was then and then and then. And we have proof. We have the receipts. You're a liar. Humza Yousaf, stop lying, you lying liar. Anyway, we previously told how the government was forced to publish a timeline of requests on Wednesday evening after both Useless and 86 told the MSPs that they had not been asked for WhatsApp until September. However, the timeline showed that this request was actually made in February. So 6 months earlier, because, hey, why tell the truth when a lie will do? Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross was scathing in his criticism of the First Minister as he told him he should be ashamed of how he reacted to the request for evidence. He said, look at what the SNP said just last week compared to this week. The DFM told the Parliament last week it has been just over a month since messages were requested. The FM claimed the messages were asked for in September, just a matter of weeks ago. And we know all of that is utter crap. The two most senior people in Scottish Government stated the UK COVID inquiry only requested these messages in September. It wasn't a slip of the tongue. It wasn't an honest mistake. It was deliberate. It was a lie. It was a lie. That's all they can do. They can never, even accidentally, tell the truth. Everything must be a lie. Even when the truth is perfectly fine to say, they will tell a lie because they don't ever want to get into the habit of telling the truth. This is the worst thing of it all, of course. Now the UK COVID inquiry tasked with getting answers for grieving families has had to demand that the SNP tells the truth about the timeline of when requests were made. When you have a COVID inquiry actually saying to them, will you please stop lying? Will you please tell the truth for once in your useless lying lives? And they're forced to admit the truth, but then they still deny that they lied, even though they've actually been told they're lying and forced by a COVID inquiry to tell the truth, and they still fucking deny they were lying. The inquiry repeatedly asked the SNP government for WhatsApp messages. They asked if the messages existed last year. They asked for the messages in February this year and again in March and July and August. But the FM and the DFM claimed none of this had happened. He said the FM and DFM have been caught red-handed in a cover-up. They knowingly told this chamber statements that were false. They lied. And isn't it beyond doubt that Useless and 86 misled this parliament? Yes, they did. In response, Yousaf admitted that his Scottish government had interpreted requests for messages from the UK government COVID-19 inquiry too narrowly. What does that even mean? It's actually a meaningless statement. He's just trying to create words to deflect from the fact that he's a lying, two-faced wanker, for the want of a better word. He then ranted about Mr. Johnson and his actions during the pandemic. Oh yeah, bit of whatever-aboutery. Oh, look at him, look at him, look at him. Don't look at me, look at him. No, we're looking at you. We'll look at him later, mate. We're looking at you now. We don't give a shit about Boris Johnson. Another inquiry's dealing with Boris Johnson. You're in this chamber now. We're questioning you. Don't be pointing at other people in order to not answer the questions people are asking you. Anyway, the First Minister's performance was blasted by critics. Scottish Tory MSP Murdo Fraser called it a woeful performance. You don't expect anything less from a wanker like Humza Yousaf, do you? He can't perform anything. He had to get someone else to provide a child for his new wife because he hasn't got anything down there. The old Ken doll, you know, smooth, baby, smooth, like jazz. Anyway, he said under forensic questioning from Douglas Moray, I presume, I don't know, Douglas Ross, you idiot. Yes, he cannot provide credible answers. This is a government falling to pieces before our very eyes and letting Scotland down. Well, they've never let Scotland up, have they? All they've done is destroy and ruin, break. Things that worked must be broken. You know, things that are good must be made bad. Everything that is fine and wonderful must be corrupted. They are a cancer. The SNP is an absolute cancer. Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar was also damning in his criticism of Mr Yousaf, calling him out of his depth and saying that he's lost control of his government and misled Parliament on more than one occasion. That's Anna Sawar saying that he was a multiple liar. That's very unusual for Anna Sawar to say anything. He's normally very reticent and quiet, isn't he? Normally gets Dame Jackie Bailey. She usually is the one that bears the teeth and goes on the attack. But, you know, everyone is damning of the man. He must go home every day thinking he's bullied. Good. Anyway, there we go. So, yeah, we know he's a liar. There's no doubt about it. And he lies and he lies and he lies. And he even lies when he's caught out in his lies. He just won't ever tell the truth. He dared. Anyway, we shall round off there, come up and finish the video. But it is grand to see him pinned and skewered like that. He hates it, doesn't he? But it's always Boris, 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 rather than me, wanker. How long will it be before even sort of backbenchers of the SNP at Holyrood start thinking it's time for him to go? Lies and lies and lies. He's embarrassing us all. Stop it, you know. Just admit it and move on. Just stop lying. Because I'm sure they get stopped in the street all the time and accosted and said, why does the man just keep lying? Why can't he ever admit the truth? Why can't he just say he's got it wrong and move on? Because he can't. You know, he just won't. He never will. It's the SNP way. My only hope is that come the next general election at Westminster and they are utterly routed and that they then lose all that lovely Westminster money and they go under, they go bang, they're going to administration and they end and they never ever are in a position of to damage Scotland again. I mean, I'm not saying Labour are better, but Labour are different and that's it. It's the same circus but different clowns. But these clowns won't be obsessed with independence, But something has to be done. This lying liar must be held to account somehow. There must be laws and rules introduced into Scottish Parliament that says when you continually lie, you must lose your seat. Something like that. They just won't. He will lie. He'll get caught out in a lie and he'll just sit down and go, nah, I don't care. And there's no one can put him to any kind of authority to check it. You can only put yourself there. And he'll never put himself there. It's unaccountable, isn't it? Anyway, stop there. Thank you very much for watching. We'll move on. We've got plenty of stories to get on today, so it's going to be a busy day. So I must crack on. So do keep an eye out for the next video. Stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.